Welcome to episode 448, Carlos Rodriguez Pastor, 9 Lessons. This is an outline of episode 448, lesson 1 to lesson 5. This is an outline of episode 448, lesson 6 to lesson 9. Lesson number 1, time is more valuable than money. El tiempo vale más que el dinero. Lesson number 2, supermarket means convenient banking. Supermercado Peruanos, which he bought in 2004 in his 9th year of operation. Lesson number 3, don't talk about your business. Don't grant interviews.
Señor Rodríguez Pastor, sé que usted no da entrevistas. Muchas gracias por la preferencia.
Lesson number 4, think very long term. Think 10 to 15 years ahead.
One of the things that our group does is we feel that we should take on the toughest challenges in the country. So education is one, it's a really hard one, and healthcare is another. We're lucky in Peru that we still have a young population. So 60% of the population of Peru is 31 years or younger. So that's why you don't hear a lot about healthcare. But 15, 20 years from now, that's going to change. So I think it's time to start.
Lesson number 5, what is share value?
So what we try to do is make sure that all our businesses practice what's called creating shared value, where it has to be good not only for the shareholders, it has to be good for the customers, for the consumers, but also for all of society. And only when that happens do we get excited and get involved in an enterprise.
Lesson number 6, the 4 ingredients of success: affordable, scalable, excellent quality, and finally, profitable.
So we went and called a company on the West Coast called IDEO, which is an innovation consulting company, very famous, it did a lot of work for Steve Jobs, etc. And we went to IDEO and told them, we'd like to build a school system that had 4 characteristics. Number 1, that it was affordable for the emerging middle class, which is between $100 and $160 a month. 2, we wanted a project that was scalable. This wasn't a feel-good one school and then tell all your friends at the country club what you're doing. This is something to maybe change the country or perhaps cross borders. 3, it had to have academic excellence. Because if you don't move the needle, you're going to be just like the other schools that are on the verge of becoming Chinese food restaurants. And the last was it had to be profitable. And that turns off a lot of educators because this whole dilemma between for-profit and not-for-profit.
Lesson number 7, invest in human capital. So in 2011, with the help of design firm IDEO, he created Innova Schools.
But what's really frustrating and really challenging in our countries is, just think about this. The last 18 months, we've had 4 ministers of education. Imagine in your organizations, if you had a boss every 4.5 months. Can you imagine the new boss coming in and saying, we're going to do this, that, and everybody kind of rolling their eyes out, just hang out for 4 months, there'll be a new guy coming in? That's what makes it difficult. And that's the reason we admire countries like Singapore, that make education kind of a national priority. It's not caught up in politics or who's right, who's wrong. It's caught up on how can we push the country forward. And especially in today's world that's changing so fast, I think if you don't have an educated population, you're going to be in trouble fairly soon.
Lesson number 8, make Peru the best place to raise a family in Latin America.
And our short-term goal is to make Peru be the best place to raise a family in Latin America. Hopefully we can make that happen in 5 or 7 years. And that means opportunity for all, that means security, that means good education, that means healthcare, that means a lot of things. So we have a lot of work to do.
Lesson number 9, follow examples of developed economy, such as Singapore and Korea.
Well, the purpose of our group is to help Peru become a developed country. It takes 40 to 50 years, growing at between 5 to 7% per year, to become a developed country. Singapore did it in 40 years at 7%. Korea did it in close to 50 years at 5%. And what those 2 countries have in common is they were poorer than Peru 50 years ago. What did they do? They invested in human capital development.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.